Hey everybody, RC here. Welcome to D-Town TV, the free show for DSLR shooters. I'm here with Mr. Larry Becker, and what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about what's in your bag.
You know, RC, we talk about your bag quite a bit, and every once in a while I get comments, hey, we see RC's bag and stuff that he carries. This is really my bag. This is the one I carry every day. I've been carrying it for about 5 years, and I will show you generally what's in my bag almost all the time. Now this bag, first of all, on the outside, I have to point this out. This bag was really popular around our office, and Matt liked it a lot and said, hey, why don't we get this as a giveaway bag for the instructors at Photoshop World? And I thought, this is going to be really cool. There are going to be 50 people with the same bag as me. Uh-oh, there are going to be 50 people with the same bag as me. So I tried to figure out what can I do on the outside of it to make mine different than everybody else. And I just stuck these orange laces on, and I've just left them there because still several people around in this office have this same thing.
That's still my de facto bag to be able to do stuff. Recently, I'm trying out another bag, but whenever it comes to like a book bag with carrying and stuff, that's still where I go to.
So I'll show you what I like about it. First of all, it has a couple access panels. So this top panel, I don't use this all the time, but sometimes I do. It's just a quick way to reach in and just grab your camera if you don't want to grab multiple lenses or do a lens swap out. So it's a quick way to reach in and get your camera. And so I'll show you, how did that get in here? I don't know how that happened. But generally, if the big portion is zipped up, if this part is closed, I'll just reach in here. Real quick, you can grab your camera. And if you've got a couple other little things that you want to have, you can see here, there's a little pouch in the top area, and you can put some stuff in here. And I have something that I've been experimenting with lately on cheap shots. It's a neutral density filter, kind of a cheap neutral density filter. Nothing that I recommend, but it's something I've been experimenting with. Anyway, I'll show you the rest of the bag because that's kind of a nice panel to have every once in a while. But most of the time, I open the whole thing. So inside, there's plenty of room. Got a 70 to 200. I've got one speed light. I carry a couple other speed lights in a separate speed light kit, but I almost always have a speed light here. I've got my L bracket, and I do have another bracket on here, and this is the one that I find that I like on here most of the time. And the reason is because on the side of my camera is where these ports are that I want to get to and put in my remote trigger. And the problem is when you have this on here and it's close up, you can't get to those ports. So you have to loosen it, slide it to the left, then you can get to those. And so then I found that I was just carrying my camera around and it was off center like that for a while. And I just started using this less and less, and I just use this simple bracket for my really light stuff.
So that's actually a Wimberley plate.
It's a generic, it's a Wimberley plate, but it works with the Arca Swiss mount, which is really right stuff. All right, so triggers, this is a radio trigger in here and a cable remote trigger here. I've got a poncho, always ready for wet weather. So in here I've got a gray card. You always have to have those in case you're shooting portraiture. I've got the other part of my camera strap, and I have a really cool Nikon camera strap, and it's together here, but if I need a longer version of the camera strap, then I'll break that apart and add this spacer in between, something from my friends at Nikon Professional Services. Got a battery charger for my camera battery, the L plate, or the foot, rather, for the bigger lens.
Right, and that's a quick, and there's a little mini tip in there with what you call it when you're using this kind of stuff is whenever you're putting in a plate, you're putting in the plate, like if you're putting it on a tripod, you're usually on this.
Oh yeah, no question.
Yeah, you're not on the actual.
Because this is so heavy off the front of your camera, it's just too much weight on the connection point. And so when you do have a larger lens, I do mount it on the foot plate.
Yeah, that was just figured while we were at it, we'll just throw in a tip in there.
Carry around this one. I love this little lens. It's a very affordable 50mm lens, 1.8. Got some extra batteries. And of course, I got to have my Hoodman loop. Now, there's a lot more to this than I'm showing you here, and I'll zip through it really quickly. In this side pouch, you can put whatever you want here. I have card readers, so I can really quick get my card reader to get my information off my camera. Got some other things over here, some memory cards, extra straps, and things in this side pocket. And then, a lot of people don't realize it, but it's got a full pouch for a laptop. So depending on where I'm traveling and if I want to carry my laptop in here, I will. Sometimes though, I've got a copy of Scott's book in here, and I know a lot of people that carry this kind of stuff in their camera bag. Got an energy drink and a protein bar. You don't have to have that stuff. These are my model releases, and most of the time, you guys, if you saw it earlier in the season, I talked about my model releases are on my iPad, but it's also a good idea to have just a simple generic model release on pieces of paper like that. And then finally, I have a light modifier from our friends at LumaQuest, and this is just a little kit that allows me to work with my speed light. Yep. So that's all the stuff that's in my bag. I have tons more gear at home, but this is what I pick up and go with, and I can do so much with this kind of setup. And I'm getting ready to go to San Francisco in a day, and this is what I'm going to take with me.
Right, and it's important to also be able to note that the reason that, like, you see Larry kind of like really cranking on the thing, you have to kind of like play with this thing hard. You have to really zip in and zip out of it. Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with the construction of it. They did a really, really good job about kind of making sure that it's kind of crumple proof so that you don't really smush on your gear.
Right, and this is armadillo kind of really tough.
Yeah, so they make it so that, you know, it's pretty good against the elements. The yellow.
You know what? I just remembered one other thing. You said against the elements. I forgot to tell you, there's 2 more pockets inside at the top, and so there's some extra stuff that I have in there. Some bug repellent, lens cleaner, a bulb to clean the inside of my camera. And then on the other side, speaking of the elements, this is actually a raincoat that comes with this for the whole piece of gear. It's waterproof, and obviously it's a raincoat, but it also allows you to have the backpack straps accessible while the rest of the thing is sheltered from the weather.
Right, and that's one of those things, like when you're looking at bags, is usually you're looking for how quickly it's going to be able to find stuff, how protecting of your gear it is, and how much gear you can store. So protecting the crumple zones, like, it's very, very good to be able to protect your gear. Yellow, you probably wouldn't even notice it, but a lot of the times if you have screws or plates or anything that you're trying to take a look at in low light environments, this helps out quite a bit because you can find everything that you need very quickly. So something like this would immediately get lost and gone. So weather resistance, crumple proof things, the amount of space that you do makes the R103 is just great. Thanks.
Yep.
That's really, really, really cool. All right, let's do this. Let's get a quick tip in from Mr. David Hobby, and let's see what he's doing.
Here on the D-Town set with me is David Hobby, and now a lot of you guys already know David. He is the guy behind the Strobist blog, one of Time Magazine's top 20, 25 blogs.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's like, not in photography, like the top 25 of all blogs out there. Very cool, very big honor. And you are here to talk to us a little bit about photography. Welcome to our studio.
Thanks, man, thanks.
Yeah, now you've got a tip for us about photography, ironically. And you call this an Agent Orange tip. What's up with that?
Yeah, I've got a few tips that revolve around the color orange, and I think of them as my Agent Orange tips. This one in particular, I think of also as a cloak of invisibility tip. But let me get back to that. We're post 9/11 world, obviously. Right. Security has been upped tremendously, and some of that's good, and some of it's a little ridiculous. And one thing in particular, the TSA and the other Department of Homeland Security and such, they'll literally put out posters with a picture of a guy with a camera near an airport, you know, being suspicious.
Because every terrorist attack has always started with a camera.
Yes, and usually a DSLR too, not just a point and shoot kind of a thing. Right. But if you see anything suspicious, such as a guy taking pictures with a camera, be sure to call it in. So, all right, whatever. What I don't want to be doing is to have people calling the police every time I'm out standing, taking around pictures with a camera. So what I do is, in the same way that they've sort of had their brains played with a little bit about what constitutes a terrorist, I'm going to play with their brains a little bit about what constitutes safe. And one of my very favorite ways of looking safe when I'm out in public shooting pictures is to wear orange. And in that sense, an orange crash helmet and an orange safety vest. And if you see anyone standing by a road or a bridge or an airport or in front of a beautiful landscape wearing orange, that's just a utility guy.
You just look right past them.
Exactly. These are not the terrorists we're looking for. Right.
I commute an hour a day each way, and anytime somebody steps out of any vehicle, if they're wearing this kind of stuff, you just kind of go, oh, that's okay. It's just an automatic thing in my head.
Exactly. And please, if you're with Al Qaeda, don't take this as your new strategy. This is just for us photographers. So if you could do that, that's cool.
Thanks for that. I'm sure that'll help.
Hyper mode, carry a clipboard.
Okay.
'Cause that's like the pièce de résistance. You know, if you have the clipboard and the orange, even if you've got a camera, you're safe. You're a clipboard
So
guy.
really, if you're carrying a camera, this kind of stuff makes people look past you anyway?
So you're really not changing the way the security guards or the police or the special forces think. What you're trying to do is to keep the next 50 people that drive by you.
The good Samaritans looking out for suspicious activity.
Joe Sixpack, who's got DHS like thumb dialed on his cell phone already,
Right.
from calling you in as a terrorist. Or frankly, if you walk out on a bridge to take pictures, which I'm not saying you should walk out on a bridge to take pictures, but say hypothetically I had done
Sure.
that. If you're out on a bridge, you're either a motorist in trouble or you're a jumper.
Right.
Either way, you're going to get called in quickly. With the orange, you're just a guy wearing orange.
And you're not speaking from experience.
No, of course not. No.
Well, this is actually a really good idea. And there are a couple of places on the interstate that I've seen that I want to stop and take pictures, but I always think, you know, I'm going to look like I'm broken down. I'm going to look like, but with this kind of thing, this is great. And I've actually seen these for sale in, believe it or not, Walmart.
There you go.
So I think in Home Depot, you know, is going to have them. And
Certainly
stuff
eBay
like
or
that.
easy Google to find
Sure.
this stuff.
So very cool idea. Become invisible, even if you've got a camera, and the clipboard adds to it. David
Exactly.
Hobby, brilliant stuff. Thanks,
No worries, man.
We are back. You know, that was a great tip from David, and I went out that day when we filmed that thing, and I got this thing, and I bought this this clipboard, and I got this one because it's got space inside. You can put, I guess, model releases or something, and I made a little rubber mount for
I
my
think
iPad.
that's just so
Am I
funny.
just a cheap shots nerd or what?
I think it's great. I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, all we need is an Indian chief in a police officer uniform, and we are all set.
Yep, we got the construction worker down. Guys, we'll be right back after this.
Take care.
Hi, this is Tom Bull. Wait till you see my new video on adventure sports for Kelby training. Whoa. To get these kind of shots, you gotta go where the action is. This is the official rock climbing stance shot. Not many people can do it. Lisa's well known for her climbing ability. Oh my God, that's so good. Amazing. Work it, Lisa. Awesome. Perfect. Oh, I love that angle. Phenomenal. Nice. Work it. Shake out. Whoa, man. Are those cows down there? They look like little specks. Lisa, wait a second. Where are you going? Hold on. Hey, hold on. Hey. Can somebody get me down here? Hello? Come on, I need some help.
Hey everybody, we're back. D-Town TV, the free show for DSLR shooters. I'm RC. This is Larry Becker. And Mr. Matt Kliskowski. What's
Hi.
up?
Remote fist bump.
There we go.
It's like we're on different studios, but we're really not. We just crossed.
Yeah, it's like literally
crossed the
like
gap that
we
we're
could
not
touch
supposed
each
to
other.
cross.
Like we're so close. It's the island. So what's going on, man?
We'll call it the island.
The island. What's going on with you?
Oh, you know, just living the dream.
Living the dream.
Living the dream. I'm on D-Town.
Nice, right?
Back on D-Town.
That's when you know you made it. When you come back.
I know. I'm
It's your
always happy when you
it's your
guys let me
homecoming.
back on the show.
We're gonna dance.
What do you got there?
All right, so take a look at this. I gotta show you guys this because I thought it was really, really cool.
By the way, I'm just here to introduce RC's print.
It requires that much pomp and circumstance. This thing rocks.
I love that stuff,
Dude, it is awesome. Now, the good part about it is I'm a big pano guy, right? So I like being able to do stuff, and I print on a lot of different mediums. But recently, I've been really, really getting into the concept of printing on metal.
That's real metal. That's not metal
This is
paper.
aluminum. So this is a metal print, and I'm hoping that we don't catch too many reflections because the thing with it is it just shines. It pops right off. And this is from our friends over at Image Wizards. So imagewizards.net, they print these monstrosity of prints.
It's amazing. I mean, the colors scream, the detail screams. I mean, it's my favorite thing to print on.
Right.
And so, I don't.
No. I want to hear it because I know where you're going. I know where you're going. Go ahead.
So if you check out Image Wizard, you can check them out, Image Wizards. If you order something, because there's a couple of different options on there. My personal favorite is what you have on there, and that's the glossy.
The white gloss aluminum.
The white glossy aluminum, because there's a couple of different finishes. There's like a brushed finish, and personally, I love the glossy.
Yeah,
aluminum.
and that's the thing. You can get
it's
this
like
in
high definition.
You can get a whole bunch of different permutations of it, and yeah, this is the one that I happen to have here, the white gloss. But you hit it right on the head. It literally feels like you're looking right out of a window, and this is what you see. So there was a couple prints that I've been kind of saving, and I really wanted to be able to print on metal. 100-year life. So I think it's really, really good stuff. You have a print though. That's where I thought you were going. I thought you were going with that.
Well, I have a few of them. I have I probably have 3 or 4 of them. And the one thing I'll tell you about it is be careful, because when you get one, nothing else will compare. You will now want your whole entire house, everything that you print. You'll want it. I'm not kidding, because I brought the one home to my wife, and she's like, I don't want anything else now. Now that I've seen this, it's like it is amazing.
So yeah, they do great work. ImageWizards.net. The one that I like that you have is the Multnomah Falls picture.
Oh yeah.
So that
I was there because of you.
I thought that was really.
I was going out to Washington.
No,
Washington,
right?
right?
No, well, you were going to Washington State, but you were going through Portland, and you were going to be in Portland.
That's right.
And then you had some time off there, and he's like, "All right, where do I go?" And I'm like, "Dude, Multnomah Falls."
I would have never made it there unless it was for RC.
And now I'm taking his print. Dude, that's going in my house with this one and a couple of other ones, thanks to the guys at Image Wizards. So just make sure you check it out. Go to ImageWizards.net.
The other thing is these don't translate well on video. I've seen them held up on video. They don't translate well, like a lot of the paper stuff when we demo papers and stuff. Go to Photoshop World. These guys are going to be there.
Yep.
And they're at most of the big photography shows, but they'll be at Photoshop World. And there are always people just crowded around their booth because it's stuff is
I
so
tell people, make it a point. There's a couple of places that you need to be able to go. Make it a point. Just stop by there. If that doesn't convince you, I don't know what does. But
and I know we've beat a dead horse here, but I think people are really interested in different ways to print, especially with all the metal options that are coming out. You guys may have to totally cut this out of the show, but I think they will send you a proof if you ask. I can't guarantee you that. I've seen the proof. It's probably about an 8x10, but it's on the metal. It's on exactly what you're going to print on. I think they'll send you. I can't guarantee it.
Take a look at that. Now, Matt's also here to be able to talk to us about something else. It's not just gushing about Image Wizard. You had a little quick tip on doing children's stuff.
Yeah, so we were, in fact, I sent RC a couple of photos today. I was trying to pick my favorite one for a certain magazine. And they were photos of my niece. And I asked him which one he liked best. And he actually, Corey came in the office. So somebody else came in the office. They're like, well, I like that one. And there's 2 pictures. So we'll put one on screen here, the one that Corey liked, where she's kind of looking up and off to the side. And then the other photo is where she's looking straight at the camera. So I've asked a couple of people, and a lot of people kind of like the one where she's looking up and off to the side. RC and I both have done a lot of children's photography, and neither one of us really liked that photo. And we both agreed immediately on the reason why. It's because we know why she was looking up and off to the side. So this is the tip. Therein lies the tip. It's because somebody, grandma or grandpa or something, thought that they knew how to distract her and how to get her to smile best, and they were standing off to the side. And that's why she's looking over at them. They were basically, if I was the camera, they're basically standing where RC does. So what does she do? She looks over as I'm taking the picture. So the tip is, and it sounds kind of obvious, but there's like a sub tip. The tip is, get whoever is going to be the person that gets the baby's attention, gets the child's attention, get them. Basically, they have to be head to head with you. I was laying on the ground during these photos. I was actually laying on the ground, and I had my sister-in-law, who's her mom, I had my sister-in-law over my head, immediately over my head, getting her attention. You need an assistant. If it's not a family member, you can't do this alone. You can't take the pictures and get a good picture and get babies.
It's a
attention.
wrangler. They call them baby wranglers.
Exactly. So get the person, part number one of the tip is get the person to be exactly where your camera lens is, as close as possible. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's a personal space violation, but you got to do it. Tip number two is if you have an object, whatever the baby likes, but it doesn't even have to be the baby's toy. Babies and kids love things that rattle and make noise. So get a toy that it's colorful, it makes an impact, whatever it is. It can be on a stick, and the person doesn't have to get really close to you. They just lean over with that stick, and they do that. And mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, they hate it. You know why? They think that they're the best at getting the kids' attention. And as soon as they see that this little innocent thing on a stick gets their attention all day long, they're like, but I thought that I knew the trick.
I know the special trick. And Matt and I were talking about that because that's right. Like you did a lot of stuff. I actually cut my chops doing children's portraiture, and we first started. And I think if I wanted to add another tip to that, I think that one of the things that you can do to this is just explain to the parents. Explain to the parents, listen, I'm going to make the best picture that we can make here. Just do me a favor. Let me try for a couple of minutes this one thing.
Yep.
And then if you turn around and go, I know you're going to want to jump in and I might need you, that's where you kind of get the hook. I might need you. They're like, oh, all right, well, you'll need me. And you go, I might need you, but I need you to stand right here for a couple of seconds and let me try this. Then come on in, play peekaboo with the camera, but keep it right here.
It's got to be right next to the lens.
And then if you do that, you'll knock it out. I thought both the pictures are great, but it's that one thing we're sitting in the office. And Corey's like, yeah, look at that picture. It's off to the end. And I was like, we know exactly why I don't like it. I was like, why? Because we know why that happened. So.
You know what's really cool about this? I feel like I'm watching D-Town. Because I don't shoot children. I just learned a whole lot from you guys.
I don't shoot children either. I take pictures of children.
See, I have 8 and 10-year-old boys. I shoot children.
Makes perfect sense. You know what? We'll be right back after this. Thanks, guys.
Name of the game is to fill the frame. You snooze, you lose. The camera looks both ways. See eye to eye. And my all-time favorite photo philosophy, raw rules. Yeah. Hey, I'm Rick Salmon, and I'm teaching a class here on Kelby Training. It's called Exploring Digital SLR Photography. Now, I have some good news and I have some bad news. The bad news is I've made every single mistake humanly possible when it comes to digital SLR photography. The good news is all those mistakes have helped me to become a better photographer and I hope a better instructor. So if you sign up for my class, you're really going to be in for a wonderful digital photography learning experience.
Hey guys, welcome back to D-Town TV. You know, when we were on the break, I was able to look up on Image Wizards, and if you guys can go to my iPad, I don't know if they're hooked up to do that, but when you go to the Image Wizards site, you just go to the contact page and look off to the right, and you can see there's a request, and they ask you first of all to tell them what industry you're in, and then tell them you want a photography kit, and they will send you that sample. So
it's right off the contact page.
Yeah, so it's right on the contact page.
Nice. Very cool. Now, careful. You're going to get addicted. I'm telling you now.
It's
so
cool stuff.
Keep that in mind. Now, we have a photography website that we want you to take a look at. We've also got some prizes. Larry, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, now the photographer, this guy, I actually spotted him in Photoshop User Magazine because he's a NAP member, so he's been featured as a NAP member portfolio. But this guy does composite and just brilliant work, beautiful photo retouching. His name is Brian Kaldorf. And his website is briankaldorf.com. And when you get there, I encourage you to spend some time looking around at his different kinds of work. Some of it's portraiture, some of it's just composite work, but he has all this really creative stuff. And the guy is a master of light. He just really gets it and does a beautiful, beautiful work. So you want to be inspired, spend a little time at Brian's site.
Nice. Very, very cool. Now, we have a contest, but before we do the contest, you need to be able to also tell us what's the prize.
The prize this week, we have a $10 gift card from Adorama to go along with the iFi card.
You talked a little bit about was it with Terry White? Or?
Yeah, I did something earlier in the season on the iFi card. This one, I actually have this exact card myself. It's the iFi Explorer 2, and anything with it's the Explorer X2. anything with X2 on it, that's the one you want. So whether you find there's an Explorer, there's a Pro, there's a Mobile X2, the X2 is the level of firmware in the card that allows you then to, when you first plug it in and start to use it and install it, it automatically goes out to the iFi website and it gets the latest version of the firmware and it updates. And what that allows you to do is set up an ad hoc network between the card that's in your camera and your iPad or your laptop or whatever. You don't, it's called direct mode, and you don't have to have any wireless network at all. You can be out in the middle of nowhere and directly turn on your card inside your camera, directly have your images as soon as they show up on the card, and they get ported over or beamed over Wi-Fi to your tablet. And that's how I'm using it all the time now. You don't have to have the Wi-Fi network or anything. You have to have a Wi-Fi network one time to set it up. But after that, you don't have to have the Wi-Fi network. Very cool way to go.
Nice.
So we're giving away these two things to one lucky winner who puts their name in a comment on D-Town's site.
Thank you very much, iFi. Yeah. Thank you very much, Adorama. So,
yeah,
good stuff. I'm you know what? I'm actually kind of excited. Honestly, it's kind of sad to see it go. But speaking of go, we've got to go. So tune in next week. I'm sure we'll have tons more to talk to you about. That's Mr. Larry Becker.
His name's RC, and he's at About RC.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We did twitter.com/BeckerBiz. So make sure you're following us. Give us comments. Give us love. Whatever it is that you can give us. But we'll be back here next week. Take care.
Peace out.